we've had, and there are a lot of other things I could talk about that are of local importance, but I suspect you'll ask me all those questions, so I'll leave them as questions. One of the things that was proposed at the beginning of this year as we started to realize our financial shortfall and to try to do full cost recovery for a lot of our services was the appeals fee. So someone wants to build a mansion next to your house in the hillsides and you want to appeal it. It's a $74 fee. It was proposed to increase that fee to $6,000. Now that was clearly someone's idea of an opportunity to take people out of the process. I don't think it was really to make the money, it was that those filings would never happen. So we all complained, it went to Plum Committee for review. They came back with a fee schedule, $150,000 to $3,000 for those filings. I said that was ridiculous. I put in a motion to return it to the $74 and not to increase it without city staff meeting with every homeowners association and neighborhood council in the city and to come up with an appropriate figure. Well, this was months ago. They haven't held meeting one, so I think they've basically given in, and the fee is going to remain at $74, and people will be able to continue to find inappropriate developments and participate in the process. Also, not on this side of the hill, but probably my favorite thing that I've done this year, when I came in, there was a proposal to tear down the iconic Century Plaza Hotel and put up two 50-story towers. And I met with the developer a few times. He seemed pretty set on trying to fight for this. And then he did a 180-degree turn and recognized that I wasn't going to give in and I was going to be a thorn in his side for at least the next 12 years. And so he started meeting with the LA Conservancy and some national conservancy groups, and actually not only is going to leave the Century Plaza intact, but he's going to restore it to the original finishes that it had 40 plus years ago in the 1960s when it was built, which is very exciting. So I was very pleased with that. I've always been a historic preservationist. If this had gotten torn down on my watch, I would have really been devastated. Plus, I wouldn't have been for the two 50-story towers anyway, even if it was a vacant lot, which I told them as well. And they still could do some development on the property. I've told them it has to be within the specific plan there, and he's agreed not to even propose anything that's beyond the specific plan on this project. Also, we've had a lot of victories on billboards. I've done a lot of work with the city attorney. The city attorney has been very aggressive on this. It's really been terrific. He's taken some people to court. He's given them incredibly high bails. He's done whatever he could. And one of the things I was the happiest with is we found a pot of money from the 2003 billboard settlement that had never been used for anything, about $600,000. And had Councilman Parks, the chair of the budget committee, been aware of this pot of money, he would have swept it into the general fund and it would have been long gone. But we proposed that it be put into the city attorney's office as a pocket of money to pay for more aggressive billboard enforcement. We were very excited that most of that money was set aside for that purpose. We think it will not only generate much better enforcement, but it will generate more than that amount of money, and we could continue to use it to really go after all the illegal billboards in the city of Los Angeles. We've also fought a few battles with billboards one-on-one where we've testified, where I've testified, in opposition to individual digital billboards. All those hearings have gone our way, and so it's a question of whether they'll take the final step and sue, but if not, those billboards are going to come down, which I think is very exciting. And of course we lost, although I think it's a big win, the digital billboard settlement as a city. And so I'm pushing not only for us not to ever appeal that and fight it, but to give the 100 or so digital billboards that do exist, give them back their permit fees and get them to take them down. So I have that motion in council. I can't guarantee that I'll get 8 votes, but I'm definitely trying on that score. There's a lot more I could talk about, but I know you have a lot of questions, so I'll give you the opportunity to ask those and for me to answer them. But I thank you very much for having me, and happy to come anytime.
Okay, we have a bunch of questions here, and I'm not going to be able to get to all of them. And some of the questions, I'm not going to ask the ones that I think are the most important, but I'm going to ask some of the questions that are multiple questions from on the same topic first. If I do not ask a question, it's not that I don't think it's the best question here tonight, but it's just I probably just ran out of time. So the council member is agreed to stay here until all hours of the evening, even after the Lakers game, to make sure that he answers all your questions.
If you have a TV,
we'll give you updates.
Anyone know the score, by the way?
All right, we're all here to ask questions. So the first is actually just a comment that Ira brought up that he just wanted everybody here to know about, that gardeners in Sherman Oaks are having their lawnmowers and stuff stolen out of the truck. So just pay attention. Let your gardeners know that when they're doing your backyard, to make sure that their equipment is chained down in the front. Thank you, Ira. And I want to just give a comment that I gave to Jack Weiss before you, that nothing was done with. The City of Los Angeles and the Department of Water and Power has 800 numbers for a bunch of your services. Why? Why spend millions and millions of dollars a year to pay an 800 number when you're calling local? You're calling from Los Angeles. You're calling a Los Angeles number. It doesn't cost me an 818 number to call a 213 number. So why have an 800 number on the back of the DWP bill, on the back of some of the other services, building and safety? It has an 818 number. It has a 213 number. It doesn't cost anything. So you want to save some more millions? Go ahead and look into that.
That makes no sense to me, so I'll have us look into that.
Okay, terrific. So the first batch of questions is, the most questions that were asked this evening is about your stance and the City Council stance on the Arizona item. So I'm going to just kind of paraphrase some of these, but ask them quickly. A recent quote by gubernatorial candidate Steve Poyser stated that the Los Angeles City Council should focus on how they can create jobs and better serve their constituents rather than score cheap political points by boycotting Arizona. First, if I may present the content of the question, or actually I'll just get to the question. Have you read the Arizona State Bill? If not, why not? Even a summary. Why, as an American citizen and government official, vote for City Council's boycott? President Wilson said an ear of the leader must ring with the voices of the people. Don't you think that it's presumptuous of 13 council members who voted yes for the boycott of Arizona not to listen to the voices of the people? What part of illegal does the City Council not understand? Arizona did what the federal government failed to do. Boycott Arizona is not what the people of Los Angeles want. You do not speak for us. You speak to get votes. Hooray for Mr. Smith. How can you compare Arizona immigration laws to Hitler? Question, have you read the bill? Why is Los Angeles, I can't read the rest of that. And then the last one is, why have you been wasting the time of the taxpayers' money involving yourself and the City Council in the Arizona immigration bill? Explain your comments comparing Arizona immigration bill with the concentration camps and the Nazis in World War II. We start with the easy questions first, by the way.
Well, I'm glad people asked that question. Because first of all, anything that they've heard about what I said is probably from right-wing talk radio and not from what I actually said. So allow me to say what I actually said, which is not comparing to concentration camps or anything else. What I said is I'm concerned about not only the Arizona immigration law, but some other things in addition that Arizona has done, and it gives me great pause that it's more than just a desire to deal with illegal aliens, and is more scapegoating them in a dangerous way. Beyond just the immigration issue, Arizona has recently voted to ban all ethnic studies programs. So Jewish studies, Latino studies, the programs that we have